Are you willing to answer this
Yes,
question?
it's
okay.
A, but it doesn't matter. Your intent does not matter. What you are doing is still misrepresenting things, whether it's purposefully or not. Intent does not matter in this instance.
So instead of using the agnostic misrepresent, I would like us to use something like I'm lying, which requires intent, I think. Or I'm mistaken, I'm wrong, I'm delusional. You could call me stupid.
Whatever
but
what you want to use.
No, I want you to pick a word that falls into...
That's what I'm using.
I don't know if Whick was prepared for Mr. Girl. Mr. Girl is literally walking all over him, as Mr. Girl does when he talks to anybody. You have to be a particular type of person to be able to talk to Mr. Girl and trick his ass into actually talking. Okay? Whick is Stardust's friend. Okay. Well, Whick seems like a really nice gentleman. I am not putting him down whatsoever, but it kind of seems he wasn't prepared for it. Like, I know if I ever talk to Mr. Girl, which will never happen, because who am I, right? But I know if I ever talk to Mr. Girl, there has to be a moderator there. I know for a fact I will need a moderator. I know for a fact. Period. So... yeah, exactly, Joe Mega. Can anybody really prepare for Mr. Girl, though? True. All right, so here we go.
When I first started streaming, my audience started calling themselves cuties.
Due to your coverage of the Cuties movie, I assume?
Yeah. And I was like, guys, I don't know. And I'd already been saying hi horses to introduce my video essays for a few years. So it seemed like horses seemed a little more appropriate than cuties,
Yeah, I get you. Whenever you're ready, if you could cam up. So
he seems like a really nice guy. Whick seems super nice. Like, I feel like I could have a conversation with Whick. He seems really nice. I just don't think he was prepared for this.
Hello.
But that's only from what I've seen, though. I haven't seen what's going on right now, obviously.
I guess let's just start this off. So
there we go.
Do you think, right, that we should show the YouTube admin team 21 Jump Street so that they unban you from YouTube?
Yeah, I saw Kanye's tweet about that. No comment.
Fair enough.
If you're waiting for an answer.
I wanted to.
FYI, he says no comment a lot in this interview. A lot.
To keep it light, at least at first, right?
Okay. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that, but I appreciate the attempt.
An attempt was made, as I say.
Yes.
So first of all, let me say thank you for agreeing to come on and talk to me and kind of discuss this from a little bit different angle than I think most people are going to take this. Like, I know I've seen, or I've not seen this, I've tried to avoid this, but I know of many streamers who've gone through the article line by line, looking for inconsistencies, looking for errors, looking for assertions you made that aren't true. And that's fine and all, but I wanted to get your thoughts on this, right? I wanted to kind of pick your brain about why you've made the choices you have in the article. Maybe if there was any inspiration, like when you decided to make the article, all sorts of things. But we'll just get into it. And
okay.
I guess that's the first question I have for you. When did you decide that this was a necessary thing? That okay, I want to make an article, and this has to happen.
I first created a Destiny folder on my computer, I think, when Rose Wrist was debating him about Fuentes.
Okay.
And Rose Wrist asked him if it was an anti-Semitic comment to say that Jews are in charge of the world, or secretly run the world. And Destiny said, assuming it's not true. I think that was the moment I was like, I was like, I feel like I am gonna need to lay all this out at some point in the future. Maybe I'll make a documentary or a video about our Fuentes debates and how I just think that he was kind of giving Fuentes free passage into YouTube land.
He was mad because he was giving... Okay. I can understand where people were upset about the whole Nick Fuentes thing. Even Chud Logic was upset at first about it. but you can't tell people who they can and can't put on their platform. Who are you to do that? That is none of your damn business who they put on their platform.
But the whole piece, just saying like I think everything should be investigated. Was definitely it was as soon as Lav told me that he was still sexting Anna, which was right after our stream.
Again, something else that none of your business. That is none of your business. That is Destiny's personal business. That is not your own. Your problem, Mr. Girl, is you feel like you should be able to run everybody, and everybody's looking at you going, you. Just saying.
November something.
Okay.
7th or something.
And so you had been wanting to do something on him since the Rose Risk conversation. You decided, okay, I'm going to need to talk about him in some capacity. But it was a conversation with Lav. And when Lav informed you about the sexting of Anna, that you decided, oh.
Remember. Okay. There we go right there. Now, remember, one, Mr. Girl started to love Lav. Okay? And Lav was the one who informed Mr. Girl about the sexting between Anna and Destiny. But from what Mr. Girl showed, now granted, it's a trust me bro because he didn't show actual screenshots. Lav told Anna she wouldn't tell anybody. But she went straight to Mr. Girl with it though, didn't she?
Lav, and when Lav informed you about the sexting of Anna, that you decided, oh, this needs to be a, for lack of a better word, a manifesto. Right?
Well, report is a better word. I don't think we are. I think article, report, really anything is a better word than manifesto. Because manifesto implies while it is emotional for me, it gives a picture of somebody in a shack in the middle of nowhere.
Dude, you carry yourself like you need to be in a shack in the middle of nowhere. A manifesto is exactly what it is because you're crazy. You're crazy. Yes, it is a manifesto. I don't care what anybody says. It's a damn manifesto. It's a manifesto full of, oh my God, my content daddy got mad at me. That's exactly what it is. My content daddy got mad at me, so now I'm going to lash out on 150 pages of nothing but cope and trust me, bro, rhetoric. Just saying.
You know, losing their mind.
We can call it a report if you'd like.
That's my preferred pronoun.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I read it, all of it.
Nice.
I guess I would consider myself, and this might not be what you intended, but I consider myself kind of the target audience for this report. Someone who isn't familiar with all the lore of all the streamers. I'm not very big into the drama scene in this space. I don't like a lot of the criticism I've heard of the report was that it treaded over old ground, but most of it was new to me because again, I'm not familiar with the lore.
But can we be honest? Most of it was a bunch of old bullshit that people have pushed it off to the side and don't give a fuck about anymore. But Mr. Girl wanted to present it like Steven, bad guy. Destiny, bad guy. Nobody gives a damn what he did over a decade ago. Especially since Destiny has told you he started off one way. He feels differently about things today. He's grown. He's grown up. You're bringing up shit from his 20s. He's now a 34-year-old grown-ass man who doesn't change from their 20s to 30s. Like what?
Of this space. So I guess I would start by asking, is that the intended audience for this report? Or if not that, then who?
I think the intended audience is you stand to gain financially by aligning yourself with Destiny. So you're part of the intended audience for sure, but it's not you're already entangled.
Am I an orbiter?
You are approaching becoming one. It seems like I don't see you coming onto his stream to talk to him, so I don't know much about your relationship. My understanding though is that you're kind of taking a kind of similar to Prime Kai's role.
Oh, I mean, it would be pretty fair to call myself a Prime Kai orbiter. He's how I got my start.
It seems like you're doing a similar thing to that.
I can't tell y'all how much I hate the word orbiter. I hate the word orbiter. Because to me, when somebody calls you an orbiter, you're saying less than.
And I don't think I'd ever call Primekind an orbiter of Destiny either. So, but still, you're entangled for sure. You're in the system. Obviously, you're doing streams with him, with people adjacent to him. I mean, I think the audience for the report is probably people who don't know anything about streaming. Parents of people who watch streams and who want to understand what why their 14-year-old son hates women now.
Okay, I have this at 1.25. I want to put it at 1.5 because of Mr. Girl, but then I feel like Whick will be talking too fast.
Reporters?
Have any reporters reached out to you about this?
No comment.
Fair enough. I guess that kind of leads into something I was thinking about when reading this. Like,
T-Police was in the chat doing a counter of how many times he said no comment.
Are you familiar with Snowden and his whistleblower of the three-letter organizations that were allegedly collecting information on private citizens, et cetera, et cetera? How familiar are you with that?
I don't know.
Fair enough. So basically, Edward Snowden was a whistleblower.
So I know who Edward Snowden is. I just don't know. I don't know that. There's a depth of familiarity that one could have that I don't, but I can imagine you could go quite deep into it. So you could just ask the question and I'll
sure.
tell
No,
you if there's something I need to know.
I was trying to kind of frame it a little bit for you, but fair enough. I guess I'll ask. Do you consider yourself a whistleblower? And do you, if so, right? Did you take any inspiration from other people who have blown the whistle, quote unquote, before? Did you take any lessons from them or anything like that?
Yeah, I consider myself a whistleblower. No, I don't think it's nearly as comparing it to Snowden, I think would be a little grandiose. But I think anybody's a whistleblower if you are part of a system, especially if you're complicit in that system, and then you think there's something. The whistleblower always to me implies that the person blowing the whistle is partly guilty of wrongdoing themselves.
Are you? Do you consider yourself complicit in some of Destiny's alleged abuse that you lay out in the report?
Yes.
How so?
Well, I mean, it's in there, but let's see, in chronological order, probably the first thing I did was not listen to Anna when she wanted to talk to me. And I wanted to stream with me. I didn't, and other people suggested I talk to her, and I just kind of ignored it. People said that she was a stalker. I believed them with no evidence. People told me Destiny would be very upset if I spoke to her. That didn't raise any red flags when normally it would and should. I did a mediation between the two.
This is monotone word salad. It really is, Taylor. It is 100%.
Two of them, taking both of their stories at face value, which, given his power over her, was not fair or smart. I spoke harshly to and about not so erudite, leading to some dogpiling and harassment that she received as a direct result of my actions. I spoke to and about Brittany Simon harshly, which led to dogpiling and harassment as a direct result of my actions.
Oh dear God. Oh dear God. You talked to Brittany because you couldn't get Brittany. That conversation between you and Brittany Simon was because you couldn't get to her. She wouldn't allow you to get to her, and you started getting pissed because a woman was one-upping your ass. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's making it seem like it's Destiny's fault. That was because she got you and you couldn't get to her. You couldn't get to her. That's why you got pissed when you were in that conversation with her. Oh my God. Oh my God.
There's probably more.
Sure, we don't have to go through like a list of all the sins, right? Like I get it, but I was just curious if you felt yourself, because you said that people in the space are entangled, and you mentioned complicity, and I wanted to know if you can identify yourself in that group, and so now I know. So fair enough. Would you consider other people in your report to also be complicit in their own abuse? And what I mean by that, right, do you think that some of the stories you mentioned run cover for Destiny, or ran cover for Destiny in his abuse or alleged abuse of other people?
Can you be more specific about what you're asking me?
Sure. So I don't know if you saw White Nervosa's response to your manifesto. Did you?
No comment.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no comment because White Nervosa said you were full of shit. Oh.
So in it, she claims that you misrepresented her story in order to get Anna to be more forthcoming for your manifesto. So do you consider that running cover for Destiny?
Would I consider what White Nervosa said as running cover for Destiny?
Yes, and in the response that she gave after your manifesto, she released it. It's very brief. It's very small.
I don't want to comment on.
Okay.
I think I don't want to comment on any reaction from anyone who I'm calling a victim.
Okay, that's fair.
You know why? You know why? Because most of the people up in that piece don't consider themselves a victim, or they have made up with Destiny. If you notice in that article, in that manifesto, because we're going to call it what he doesn't want it called, in that manifesto, okay, because I'm petty like that, it's 75% lab. Miss, I don't know what's going to be in the article. I hope people are not surprised that Lav lied about that. I really do. Because how else would he have gotten those conversations between her and Anna? How else would he have gotten those DMs between her and Destiny? How else would he have gotten that had she not have given it to him? How else? How else would he have gotten it? She lied. She lied up there with Zonia and Stardust and all those other people. She lied, saying she didn't know what was going to be on there. You a damn liar. And she knew when it was coming out, because that's why she put up her tweet. She put up a tweet saying that she was going to take a break until the article came out, or a week. Whatever happened first. And you know what happened to that tweet? It got deleted. You know why it got deleted? Because Mr. Girl probably told her to delete it, because she pretty much gave away when the article was coming out. Why? Because Lab is dumb. She's dumb. She's stupid.
Going into it, I wanted to set it up so that anybody can disavow without any reprisal or even comment from me. So if she doesn't like the document, she doesn't like what I wrote about her or anybody else, that's okay. I'm not going to comment on it.
Okay. There were a few others that also came out with statements, but if we don't want to go down this line of questioning, we don't want to go down this line of...
No, you should go down the line of questioning. I don't give a shit what he says. Put it in his face how many people didn't like it. Put it in his face. Don't be nice to Mr. Girl. This is not nice to Mr. Girl time. Dude, I cannot wait. People are going to cover this for like 2 weeks, and you know what gets to happen to you, Mr. Girl? You get to sink into the abyss of irrelevancy. And I hope everyone is smart enough to stop platforming you and stop saying your f***ing name. I hope to God everyone just does that and let you sneak into the abysmal of irrelevancy. I hope they do. Because the shit that you are pulling, trying to silence people, trying to tell people who they can't have on their platform, trying to tell people what they're allowed to talk about, trying to take people's Discord down, trying to take people's videos down just because you're got caught up and now you're on Rumble. You want to sit there and punish the world. You want to see the world burn. I hope you sink into the abysmal of irrelevancy, because that's exactly what you deserve. And notice I said all that without him losing his platform, okay? Just saying.
I mean, you're welcome. We can do the congressional thing where you say it and then I say I have no comment.
Yeah,
That's
fair
fine.
enough. The other person I saw that claims that you misconstrued wasn't mentioned as a victim in the report, but Aristocracy did mention that she feels that you took her out of context. I also know that Madam Genevieve, has also said that she was not pleased with your handling of the information that you gave her. Or that she gave you, I apologize. So that's fair, but we don't have to call it out or...
No, call it out! Call him out on his... Okay, this is what I need within this 2-week time frame. I need someone to platform this motherfucker and call him out for every line of bull that's in that article. Can we please have one person do it? One person call him out on his... Finally, somebody call him out on his... Destiny took way too long to do it. Stop playing nice with this mother. If he sits there and says, well, I'll leave, which he does here, I'll leave if this continues. Leave, mother, because we already got the proof, because that damn manifesto sucks. It sucks. It's a trust me, bro. There are no receipts. There's no links to see the context of what was actually going on when people said what they said. You had months for this shit. And this is what you gave us? You suck, dude. Drama is not your thing, my dude, because all you did was give us a trust me, bro. Oh.
I'm not called out, but to discuss it or go into depth if you don't want to. So let me ask you this then. Let's pivot a little bit.
Okay.
Do you think that Destiny is redeemable at this point in your eyes? Is there anything he can do, any action he can take in order to change course, to become better enough that you would consider him okay to listen to, watch, have on their shows, etc.?
Yeah, sure. I don't think anybody's irredeemable. I
think you are. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. You know, you are just one of those creators that it's just, you're scummy. You're a scummy, dare I say, piece of. I'm just saying, you are scummy. You are so scummy. Oh my God. Not only the way you talk about kids, but the way you talk to women, the way you talk to your girlfriend, you are emotionally and psychologically abusive. You're actually abusive in the way you talk to people who are smaller than you. Like how he does to this dude, how he does the Whick. You are a piece of shit in my eyes. And I can't wait until people actually go, wait a minute, who's Mr. Girl? Who is Mr. Girl? Oh, he was some lolcow dude that, liked cuties and didn't like women. He hated women. But yet tried to come off as a feminist. Oh, okay, I think I heard about him. And then they move on with their day. I can't wait for that day to happen, and it's going to happen. And I hope I'm alive to see it happen, because I will revel silently in my own Discord by myself. I will revel in it.
I assume you're not asking me the likelihood of that happening. You're asking me.
No. Yeah, likelihood. I'm more asking what,
Sure.
if you know what specifically would have to change.
There are things you can do, like if you murder a little kid. That at that point it doesn't really matter what you do after that.
What?
To
What?
me, where I'm just I don't. You're at that point you're not someone whose content I would consume no matter what. Like emotional abuse and coercion and sexual misconduct and smearing and retaliation, doxing, threats, that kind of stuff. I don't think any of that's irredeemable now.
Fair enough. Do you think that Destiny is the worst actor in this space when it comes to those kinds of behaviors? So, like a good thesis statement, because on the technical side, one criticism I would have of the report is it's too dense. It's very hard to get through in a timely manner. But this is what I, in reading it, understood as your thesis statement. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong. Destiny abused people.
Kristen Ark asks, Xylie, would you debate Mr. Girl given the opportunity? I would debate Mr. Girl, yes. However, I would need a moderator. I wouldn't do it one-on-one, and this is the reason why I would need a moderator. Y'all seen how hot-headed I can be, right? With someone else there, that will make me focus at the task at hand. Somebody else there would make me focus at the task, that I'm there to debate and I'm there to try to get a point across. So I would need a moderator.
Through capitalizing on unequal power dynamics and relationships, he engaged in retaliation for criticisms and also sadistic attacks on his guests, orbiters, and other creators in order for content and spite. Would that be a fair recap of what you consider a thesis statement for your document?
I think you're leaving out the sexual misconduct.
Would that not be unequal power dynamics and relationships? Maybe.
I think I need the word sex in there somewhere for it to be.
Okay. Unequal
a
power
thesis,
dynamics.
It's the same, dude. Shut the. Oh my God. This is where Mr. Girl likes to talk in circles, and this is why it's pretty bad one-on-one with Mr. Girl, and this is why there needs to be a moderator to keep Mr. Girl straight to the point. Because what Mr. Girl likes to do is he likes to change subjects. He likes to answer questions with questions. He likes to, you're talking about point A, he's talking about point B, which makes you go to point C, and he still never answered point A.
Sexual relationship. How about that?
Yeah, and combinations thereof. retaliating is one thing. Unequal sexual relationships is another thing. Retaliating against people who you have unequal sexual relationships with is, I would say, probably worse than either one. Maybe even worse than the sum of the two.
But again, to the question, do you think Destiny is the worst in the space when it comes to these behaviors?
I don't think it matters.
Okay. Why not? Like, I guess what I mean by this, to clarify, right, is if there's a flood, it does no good to, put your finger in the dike, right, and to kind of like stop the little flow when behind you there's a river raging over its bounds and just destroying everything. So I guess the reason I'm asking you why, if you consider him one of the worst in the space,
I don't think that's a good metaphor.
Well, whatever metaphor you'd like to use, right? My reason.
No. That metaphor is wrong.
Explain. Elaborate, please.
Well, if you put your finger in a dike, as you so unfortunately worded it, the water that is diverted by your finger will pass around your finger totally unimpeded. So it actually will make no difference if you do that. I think a better metaphor would be like if there were a bunch of zombies attacking a city, and you shot 3 of them, but there were still 3 million attacking.
I know what I would do in that situation if I was with Mr. Girl and there's a zombie apocalypse and there's 3 million zombies. I know what I would do. Just saying.
In a city. So in one, you're still making a difference if you shoot 3 zombies, but it may not make much of a difference to anybody else. Maybe nobody will notice a difference. You still materially made a difference. Whereas with the dike analogy, it literally makes no difference. So I think I don't think water is a good analogy.
Let's go with the zombie thing. Let's go with the zombie thing. So you have a bomb, a grenade, right, that you're going to throw, and instead of throwing it into the horde, you've thrown it to the 3 standing over there, right? Like that. Yeah, you made a material difference, but do you think you could have made a more of a material difference if you chose a different target? That's what I'm asking. Right?
Ginger, okay, they had this thing. Okay, when they said put the finger in the dike, a dike is a wall in like Scandinavia or whatever. It's like a dam, all right, and it holds the sea back so when it comes through, and that's an old saying. So yeah, it's not bad. People were freaking out about it in the chat. I was in there for that, and I'm like, oh my god, people, grow up.
If everybody who has a computer with a word processor, in your analogy, has a grenade, where'd you throw yours?
I haven't thrown any grenades. I'm not a very good grenade thrower.
So my point is that it's just still, I just don't really understand the question or the criticism that I could have written something different or better or more impactful.
It would have been more impactful to actually see the fucking screenshots. That would have been more impactful. It would have been more impactful instead of you writing out the transcript of those clips to actually give us links to those clips so we can see it. It would have been more impactful that way. Oh, but wait. Does that mean you're hiding something? Because I'm going to be honest. The simple fact, because I've been doing drama for a while now, all right? And I don't give a if you're T, your commentary community, I don't care what kind of drama you do. If you don't show me 1 ounce of fucking receipts, I'm not going to believe you. If you're telling me you writing out the transcript of some DMs, why am I supposed to believe it because you typed it out? I want to see the receipts for that. I want to see the screenshots. If you're writing out the transcript of what happened in a clip, I want to see the clip so I can see it for myself. But here's the thing, Mr. Girl. That whole manifesto you wrote was so full of shit, it ain't even worth my time to go seek out the clips. It's not even worth my time to do it. Because you're full of shit. You're so goddamn disingenuous. And so many people are calling you out for this shit that it's a disingenuous piece of shit manifesto.
Literally probably true of everything anybody's ever written.
Sure. I understand that. But I guess, like, the reason I ask is after you've done this, do you have someone else in mind that needs to be exposed? Who's next on the list of Mr. Girl?
I don't have a list.
Bullshit. You're a liar. You're a liar.
That's fair.
He's a liar.
So no.
I guarantee you, everybody who is about this manifesto, and yes, I'm going to continue to call it manifesto. Matter of fact, I might at you on Twitter when this is done and call it a manifesto, knowing that it drives you nuts. Okay, because that's my life's mission now. I guarantee you, everybody who's saying something bad about this is now on his list. You can't tell me he doesn't have a list. Just saying. With his trust me, bro bullshit.
I guess I'm just asking what comes next for Mr. Girl, right? Like,
nothing.
You've done this. You've
irrelevancy. That's what's next.
You've shot the missile, right? The arrow has flown the quiver. Okay. So what are you looking to do next? What in the aftermath? What does the aftermath look like?
Probably me emailing a bunch of reporters and stuff, reaching out to as many people as I can to try to get some wise eyes on this. Maybe people who have influence and power, stuff like that.
If you
Okay, now, oh God. When this article shit started, he was telling everybody he's not trying to destroy Destiny. He's not trying to destroy anyone. But you see what he's trying to do? He wants to take it off platform and have mainstream media get a hold of it. He quite literally wants to see the world burn. This man is one of those that if you, he's like this. This is Mr. Girl. If I can't have it, you can't have it either. It was a hit piece, but it was a shitty hit piece. It was a shitty hit piece. But he is literally, he is such a narcissist, and he's so egotistical. If he can't have it, I can't. If I can't have it, he can't have it either. He is disgusting.
you could pick any reporter to cover this, any
He's a
news
snitch.
organization or
Ain't nothing worse in this world than a fucking snitch. He's a fucking snitch.
newspaper or journalistic institution to present this. If you lived in this ideal world where you could just pick and choose,
Snitch ass.
who would you like to carry the banner forward on this article?
The Washington Post.
The Washington Post.
The Washington Post.
My favorite newspaper. Maybe the New York Times would probably be the more correct choice, though. But my personal choice would be the Washington Post.
The Washington Post.
Fair enough.
Really?
And just be honest with me here. Do you think they will?
I have no idea. I think that there's probably a market for stories like this. I don't know if this is the one that would connect to it. I don't know if there's a reporter who thinks it would connect or would think it was newsworthy. But I think that there's sooner or later. I think eventually something like this will become. I think that all gas no brake stuff had some mainstream media traction.
Okay.
So I do think there's a market for discussions of power dynamics with content creators that your kids watch and sexual misconduct in streamer world, and then I think there's other conversations about money and content creation and copyright and how that all shakes out. And
Look. You know, I bet you he thought of this last minute. And let me tell you why. Not very many people are praising him with his manifesto. He's not getting the praise he thought he was going to get. So now he wants to go snitching. Just like he wanted to snitch on Chud Logic about his Discord. He wants to go snitching now. He wants to go snitching to mainstream media. He's a snitch. I don't respect snitches. I already didn't respect this mofo, but I don't respect snitches. Yeah, it didn't quite land like he thought it would. It sure didn't. That's what happens when you write a fucking trust me, bro.
and just like where the
In context of the streamer world, to be clear, correct?
yeah, the like reaction videos using to dogpile people and using your own content against you. I think there's a lot of ethical and legal and moral issues that are.
You're a public figure. Anything and everything you put out on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, I don't care where, Rumble, Kick, I don't care where you put it. You are a public figure. And guess what? It doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. Anybody and everybody can say something about the product that you put out there for public consumption. I don't give a shit if it's a video or a tweet. If somebody doesn't like it or if somebody does like it, they have the right to say how they feel about it. Get over yourself.
Really not settled.
With React streamers, to be, so can you give me an example of this?
No.
No. Okay. Fair.
No.
One of the instances I've heard people bring up in regards to this, and just tell me if I'm on the wrong track here. But things like using quote tweets to dunk on smaller Twitter users and to gain clout that way. Like take someone's take, you quote tweet it, they have like 20 followers, you have 20,000, and then just using them to farm content. Do you think that that's unethical?
I think it depends on the. If they said that they were raped and you're doing it to call them a retard, then probably. But I think it depends on the context.
Okay, fair enough. And in what well, you already gave me an example of the context where you'd find it not unethical. Do you consider the people who have
Unethical is different. Okay, so you have unethical where it's a shitty thing to do versus you can do it. If you put something out there in Twitter land, somebody can quote tweet you or take a screenshot and have something to say about it. That's just the breaks. It's called social media. Congratulations, sir. What Mr. Girl, it seems like to me, Mr. Girl is on a trajectory that he wants to be able to silence his haters at a snap. And I will always say this man is a piece of shit till the day I die. I do not care.
reacted to not just the report, but the whole situation? Do you consider them complicit in your abuse? I'm talking people like, if I'm going to drop some names, people like Chud Logic, people like Cherry, people like Sick Unchained, various other streamers, both big and small, who have been very critical of your relationships in these spaces and just critical of your engagement. Do you consider them abusive too?
Yeah, I would call them complicit. I mean, the same way in a family, if, the father's sexually abusing the kids and, I don't know, the oldest sibling knows about it but doesn't say anything, or the mother knows about it, doesn't say anything, the stepmother knows about it, doesn't say anything, or says, oh, it'll tear the family apart. You can be complicit and be a victim at the same time. I think, that, like me, I don't.
Why is he comparing something horrific like that to an online disagreement? Why is he comparing something as horrific as that to an online disagreement with his content daddy that he loved so much and mad that he has been cast aside? Why? Why is he doing that?
I think we're all somewhat complicit. Yeah.
Well, fair enough. I guess I'll ask this then, because you mentioned I was entangled, and I don't really do reaction. I really don't. But I am curious. In what ways do you think I've been complicit in your abuse? And it's fine. Like, just be honest. I can take it. It's okay.
You're asking me questions to try to set me up to appear unhinged.
Yeah, I don't know who Whick is. I thought maybe he was a Destiny. Oh my god. I thought maybe he was a Mr. Girl orbiter, but somebody said that he's actually friends with Stardust, and I didn't know. But Whick seems like he's a really nice guy. Eva, I just feel like he wasn't prepared for Mr. Girl.
Like a conspiracy theorist, crazy person. You're doing it right now.
Do you think that's intentional on my part?
Actually, yeah. I think your tone of voice is so good faith, bro. So intensely, thickly layering it on that I think it is very likely that you are intentionally trying to make me look insane right now. Yeah.
He doesn't have to make you look intentionally insane. You are insane. You are insane, sir. No. There is no making you look insane. That manifesto was insane. The way you always put some kind of child abuse as an example on things is insane. The way you talk to your girlfriend is insane. Your real life doll review was insane. You are insane, sir. If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and talks like a duck, it's a motherfucking duck. Like, what?
Well,
That's the impression I'm getting.
It won't help to say that I'm not, but the reason I am being very cautious with my tone is because I want to help make you feel as comfortable as you can. And one of the ways I signal that I'm trying to do that is through my tone.
I don't think signaling that you're trying to make someone comfortable is the same as making them comfortable.
I'm not very good at this, so it's very probably true. I guess
that's my answer to your question.
No, that's fine.
He's so full of shit.
Was there anything you wanted to include in the article that you just didn't get a chance to? Anything that you had to leave on the cutting room for, so to speak?
No. I mean, some petty things I thought about including that I decided not to, but no.
Just petty things. Okay, so I guess what was your bar here? What in your mind transcended something from just petty beef to something worthy of including in the article? Like, was there a...
sorry, I want to go back to your previous question more specifically. Okay, so specific things you're doing to run interference for Destiny right now. Trying to bait me into comparing myself to Edward Snowden, and then I have to say, oh, that would be really grandiose if I did that, and I have to, like, that was a path that I could have gone down to seem insane. Asking me which newspaper would be featured, then I could have gone, that's another trap. So I said the Washington.
How is it a trap? You're the one, oh my God, before he asked you that question, you had mentioned that you want to go to the newspapers. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I would need a moderator. So I wouldn't flip the out like I am right now. I would need a moderator because this dude is so disingenuous. Oh my Jesus.
Post as a way to kind of giga chat and say, you know, one of the biggest papers who exposes the most people who expose Trump should be talking about Destiny. And then you say, well, do you think that's likely? Because you're trying to lock me into having said something grandiose and insane. And then I avert that and say, well, yeah, that's likely. That's the dream. And then I said, blah, blah. And then I think there was another, asking me, trying to trap me into using the same word, abusive, that I'm using to describe Destiny directing someone, his audience to Anna's Kiwi Farms thread while he's fucking sexting her. You want me to use the same word to describe just any 20,000 followers.
But yet you had to have sex inserted to what he said. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Twitter account dunking on any 200 or 20 follower Twitter account. That's of course running interference for Destiny if I fall into that trap. So I don't think that you are intentionally setting those traps. I think that's just sort of like an automatic, oh, do you think Destiny's the worst person? Like, what kind of question is that? I read a report about a system I was involved in, about the person that I was pretty close to in the system, and all the stuff that I witnessed, all the evidence I was able to gather through my relationships that I formed well in that system, kind of excoriating myself in the process, and some of the just making everybody just look kind of bad, but for the purpose of doing what I see as like an act of good to try to stop somebody from being abusive. And in the first question you really asked me about the report is, do you think he's the worst person? Which is, again, is like, how the f do I know? I'm not in any other streamers community. I don't even like streaming.
Well, what are the
like,
reasons?
I'm not.
Okay, no, no. Listen, you can't tell me that you don't think Destiny is the worst person because you took your time out to write all that shit on Destiny. You are obsessed with Destiny. You have an obsession, sir. That's exactly what you have. You have an obsession with Destiny.
Wait, stop. I'm just saying, like, I don't have that kind of insider knowledge about all these other streamers, so it'd be insane for me to say he's the worst. And then you get, of course, you or whoever wants to, then gets to come out with examples of this. Oh, so he thinks Destiny doing this is worse than this other thing. I know how the Destiny sphere thinks. It is a constant, endless game of whataboutism and shifting frames and perspectives, and a zero-sum game that you can't call out Destiny for being abusive unless he's the most abusive. And then if you can find somebody who's more abusive or more dishonest, more of a liar, more threatening, more controlling, more retaliatory, then that's some. Oh, and I am not doing any of this. Again, that's just another. It's just more bullshit. So anyway, to answer your question from before, how do I think you're complicit? Those are just some of the things that you've done in this short interview so far.
He has been very nice to you during this interview, because a lesser person, and I'm going to go ahead and call myself a lesser person, I would have raised my voice at you and called you out on your bullshit. I wouldn't have stopped naming all the people that you put into your manifesto. I wouldn't have stopped like he did. He was nice to stop. You're on his platform, sir. And the way he ends up running this is pissing me off.
That I would say are traps, setups, and dishonest reframings of what I'm saying to you. What I'm saying is really straightforward. You haven't really asked any genuine questions about it, that I don't think so far. What I'm saying is, Destiny abuses his platform, and here's a list of the ways and times that he did it, and here's all the evidence. If you
No, he just used the word abuse.
If you need to see relationships played out and established, here's all the evidence. And I've presented it to you, and yeah, it's long, but it's I don't know, it's covering 10 years of bad behavior.
This is, and I am frustrated right now, and I want to talk to you about that, because
Okay.
I do want to engage as good faith as possible. I'm really trying here to give my honest thoughts on this.
It's
my honest
totally meaningless. Saying all you're doing is throwing me under the bus when you say that. I know it's a
so
really
how could I? Can you demonstrate, please? How can I ask you these questions? Because I want to know the answers. I think there's substantive discussion to be had here.
Saying you're being good faith is not good faith. Saying you're being charitable to somebody is not charitable itself. All you're doing is defending yourself to the audience and saying that anybody who's annoyed with you and
what
saying
I'm
that your
doing
questions.
right now is asking.
No, stop saying what you're doing. If you want me to think you're doing something, you have to do it. You can't tell me you're doing it. That doesn't make any sense.
What?
My God. He's such a victim. Poor Mr. Girl. So many people want to see his demise, and you know, he lost his Twitch, he lost his YouTube, he's lost his Twitter a couple times, but then he gets it right back. You know, poor Mr. Girl. We all should just feel bad for this man. Yes, poor Mr. Girl. Bless his heart, and I mean that in the most southern fucking way possible. He is such a shit stirrer. Yeah, Eva. He did ask him. Now he's arguing just to argue. Exactly.
What should I be asking that I'm not? What question should I be asking you right now about your manifesto, or about the report? Sorry,
It's a report.
apologies. About the report that I am not asking that you would like me to ask, that you think no one has asked, that you want to tell people, and you haven't been able to do so yet. Can you give me a few of those?
If I were you, what would I ask?
If what do you wish people were asking you that they haven't asked you yet?
I don't know, because if there was something I wanted to be asked, I would just say it.
Oh my
I guess
God.
that still doesn't really get at my criticism of what that's not what I just. It doesn't really make sense as a response to what I just said. You asked me if you're complicit. I listed all the ways that I think you're running interference for Destiny. Your response is to say that's not true. That didn't happen. You didn't really engage with.
Miss Stripes, what you just said is exactly what Mr. Girl does. Predator playing victim. That's how he gets people in. He's great at playing the victim card, and then he flips it. And that's how he got people to follow him and to believe his bullshit. Because he plays that role, he plays that victim role, and then he flips it. Every single fucking time.
What I'm doing now is I will.
What you're doing now is interrupting me. You're not actually listening to what I'm saying. You're pulling these maneuvers that take a while. So the reason the report is 100,000 words is because it takes a while to explain these little sleights of hand. So again, it's fine if you don't want to respond to them. I just want to point out that you didn't respond. You have not really responded to my criticisms of your questions. Then what you did say in response was, "That's not happening, Max. I'm just asking questions. That's not happening. I want to know the answers to the questions. I'm doing the best that I can to make you comfortable." And the implication is for no reason.
Your comfortability. You. What? He... You're not making me comfortable. Oh. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is like real-time cope. This is real-time cope. That's what it is. Oh dear God. Oh, I swear to God, I think Mr. Girl likes to talk just to hear himself talk. It's horrible.
Reason for some wacky reason. You're just freaking out. I have no idea why. Anyway, and then it takes a while to explain that you did that.
I think that I understand why.
Oh yeah, then your question is what? So what would you want me to ask? That's not asking you what I would want you to.
Respond to that first before we go on to
I
other
don't want.
criticisms.
I don't want you to do that. Asking no, because there's just too many maneuvers. I just can't take it.
I'm not
Your
maneuvering.
response is
I think
to.
Like,
I'm not
look,
maneuvering.
I understand that this has happened to you a lot. I understand that people have treated
I'm
you
not
this way.
maneuvering.
I get it.
I'm not maneuvering. I get it. I'm not maneuvering. I'm just asking questions. I'm not maneuvering.
This is how
Stop
conversations
Stop
Yeah.
saying what you're doing. It doesn't mean anything. It's a maneuver to say you're not maneuvering.
God.
Okay, anyway, so then after I listed the things that I thought were like bullshit questions that were traps, your response is not to engage with the criticism that they're traps. Your response is to say, okay, fine. What do you want me to ask?
maneuvering.
But that's a nonsensical reaction. That doesn't make any sense.
When I responded to your criticisms, you called it maneuvering. So because you didn't like that and it wasn't
No, you
working,
didn't.
I have shifted direction.
It's not because you responded. It's because you were maneuvering. I think you're being manipulative. That's why I said that. Not because you responded. You didn't respond.
You didn't give him a chance to respond.
It just feels like another zero-sum game question where
He went to go respond and you cut him off. Every time he went to go respond, you cut him off. So how is he supposed to respond if you won't let him respond? See, that's that Mr. Girl bullshit that I keep talking about. This is the Mr. Girl bullshit that he does. You just seen it in real fucking time.
is there a person who's more abusive than Destiny? Is there somebody else? Who's next on your list? Those all seem very similar to the question of what should I have asked? It doesn't feel like a substantive engagement with the criticisms.
Well, if the reason I asked originally, and let me please give me a chance to explain, right? The reason I asked about this Destiny, why Destiny in particular, the reason I asked was because I see that these behaviors that you outlined are not uncommon in this space, right?
Yeah, I know why you asked.
I don't think you do.
Okay, let's pretend that I'm a rape victim.
Oh Oh my God, no,
Okay.
no. Why are we pretending you're a? Why does this man always go to child abuse and rape? Every time this man goes to child abuse and rape. Why? This man is ridiculous.
I'm a rape victim, and a larger creator got me drunk, and I fell asleep, and I woke up, and he was raping me. And I make this essay about how I got raped.
Oh my God, this is not comparable to what you wrote. This is not comparable to what you wrote. Oh my God. I'm molding right now. I'm legitly seething and molding right now. He's coping. I'm seething and molding because this is ridiculous.
And you're going to interview me about the essay. The first thing you ask me is, do you think there's quite a lot of rapes happening in the streaming world, aren't there? And I'm like, well, I guess so. And you're like, well, you wrote about just one rape, yours. Don't you think that it might have made a bigger difference if you had thrown your grenade into like a horde of rapes? Why are you writing about why are you writing about this rape?
So I don't think this is a good metaphor.
What?
Hold on. I want to
Wait, what? What kind of crazy ass metaphor are you? What?
I want to go through some of your other questions. Do you think that this is the worst rape that has ever occurred, Max? I can think of a lot worse rape. I've heard of a lot worse rape. Rape is very common.
You're misrepresenting my questions, sir.
You just said that this behavior is very common. So
when we talk about maneuvers, right? Are you familiar with psychological projection? That concept.
Whick. I've already decided that I'm never going to talk to you publicly again, but I will finish this stream. But if you don't let me finish what I'm saying, I'm going to leave.
But you won't let him finish what he's saying, and you keep doing these fucking metaphors that have nothing to do with what the you're talking about. You're just listen. He's playing a game that he's trying to. Okay, so when he gives examples about what happened to him and he throws out these metaphors about child abuse and rape, what he's trying to do is make you keep that in the back of your mind so you think what happened to him with Destiny was worse than what it actually was. What happened, I'm going to be truthful, y'all. You know what happened with Destiny? Destiny's audience clocked Mr. Girl before Destiny did. And and Destiny's audience was calling out Mr. Girl. Destiny took a while to clock him. He finally clocked him when the Real Doll review came out. That's when he finally clocked him, when that conversation he had with Shaylin. But Destiny's audience and some of the quote-unquote orbiters had already caught up with how Mr. Girl really was. Yeah, now putting rape on a scale of not that bad to worse, it's disingenuous. This is horrible.
You have the floor, sir.
Thank you. If you transposed all of your questions, the questions of, do you think there's a worse person who did X? Oh, this behavior is very common. So how does that affect your the legitimacy of your presentation of it? Who's the next of it? Who's the next person you're going to accuse?
All right, I gotta slow it down.
All of these questions in that context would be transparently fucking disgusting. And now I agree that Destiny's abuse of me is not as serious as rape, and it's harder to explain emotional abuse and psychological abuse, and these power dynamics are complex, and it takes a while to explain what happened. But given that I am coming forward as a victim, I do think that the zero-sum game sleights of hand are quite slimy. I don't like it.
Fair. I do not think it is a zero-sum game. I do not think that your analogy is fair. Yes, when you put questions into an entirely different context, it will change how people feel about that questions and the appropriateness of the questions. Obviously, if you were a victim of rape or abuse in this, I would not be sitting you down questioning about that. But this is not what this is. We're talking about the Destiny Report, which was an article that you wrote, which outlined what the person you were accusing of doing all this did to other people, not just you. There are many other people that you outlined. The DDoS kid, right? You talked about Mia, You talked about Denims. You talked about Anna. You talked about White Nervosa. You talked about Vosh. You listed quite a few, right? And given the fact that we want, and I hope you want this too, not just to stop if Destiny is doing it, not just to stop Destiny, but to stop everyone who does this, I think it's perfectly fair and perfectly valid to extend the conversation in a wider lens, right? To talk about this problem in a wider context. Is that not?
Okay, again.
Damn right, Wick. Damn right. Wick just grabbed his nuts and going, this is what I've been trying to say for the past half hour. Damn right, Wick. Wick just grabbed his nuts and was like, look, this is what we're talking about. Damn right.
Let's go back to the rape analogy. If I told you I was raped by a
dear
content
God.
creator, you could extend that conversation to the wider lens and
And
say,
yes, and you should.
wait, let me finish my response. You could extend that conversation to the wider lens by saying something like, another thing that's really horrible about this is it's not just you. You know, this I think this is actually really, really common, and I think it's really important that you were saw that it was the right thing to do, or you're willing to make the sacrifices, or that you were brave enough under the immense pressure and retaliation that you experienced to come forward and talk about this. I think you've done a good thing, not just for yourself, but for all the other people that this is that this is happening to. That your attempt to start a broader conversation, like there's tons of there's ways you could say that I obviously wouldn't object to. My objection is not that you're expanding it to a broader conversation. My problem is that you are bringing up, I think twice now, the existence of other abusers and other abuses of power in the streaming world as though it is somehow a defense for Destiny, or a.
Just say that you love Destiny like a father, because without him, you wouldn't have had an audience and you wouldn't have had a platform, and you're mad that he figured out what kind of scummy ass person you are. Just say you're mad. We didn't need 100,000 words for you to just say, I'm molding, sieving, and coping right now because Destiny doesn't want anything to do with me anymore. Honestly, your feelings with that whole ass manifesto that you wrote, and again, I'm calling it a manifesto because he doesn't want it to be called like that because I'm a petty bitch. That whole ass manifesto could have been summed up in a tweet. It really could have. It could have been summed up in a tweet. Because all you're doing in that whole ass manifesto is coping, sieving, molding. This is all just a result of Mr. Girl being butthurt about being banned from the Destiny server. Yes. And it all started when Destiny started turning his back. Because Destiny finally saw him for who he was with that Real Doll review and how he talked to his girlfriend. And he didn't like how Destiny low-key called him abusive. And the way he was talking to Shaylin. And the way he was laughing when Shaylin started to cry. You know? Yeah, Tiller. He's upset that he lost the homie role. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's actually, Killer, you summed it up perfectly. And you know what? As a matter of fact, you summed it up so perfect. There we go. Mr. Girl Return is just mad that he lost the homie role. There, I broke down his manifesto for you. Bam. All right, let's continue.
I'm not here to defend Destiny or anyone.
That doesn't mean anything. Or a criticism of my report. That somehow, if you literally said if your report is throwing a grenade or it's sticking your finger worthlessly in a flood. Wait,
I'm
please
not
let me
asking
finish.
you because
Please
I know the answer.
Please let me finish. Please let me finish. By saying that I am throwing a grenade away from a horde of zombies and only attacking one, you are clearly making a criticism of the report and saying that it should have been about the broader thing. That's different from contextualizing the report in a broader conversation. You're obviously criticizing it. And if you go back to the rape analogy, you can see why that would come across as a fucking insane thing to say.
And God forbid you criticize something Mr. Girl made. God forbid you criticize something Mr. Girl made. How dare you? Wick, I'm going to be honest. You know what? I want Wick W's in the chat. And this is the reason why. I agree with you, Eva. His patience is golden. Because I would have been flipping tables by now. I don't have that kind of patience. That's why I could never get into like debates or like Twitch polls. It's not for me, all right? I understand my place in this world. And my place in this world is to be reacting to shit like this and going to hell off on it. Don't put me in a debate. Because I turn it into a blood sport because I don't have patience. So, yes. Yes. Wick W. Absolutely. 100%. Patience of gold. My God.
That
When
is
I
clearly
criticize-
clearly
and I understand
clearly
you
a
don't know me.
defensive.
I
That is clearly
understand
a
you aren't familiar with me. But
it's
when
clearly
I
a defense.
criticize,
It is clearly a defense of Destiny and a criticism of the report
when I criticize, I make
and a
sure that I
normalization
know
of the
that I
behavior.
agree.
The whole reason I wrote the
Also,
report is to
when I ask you a question-
unnormalize it.
When I
Yeah.
ask you a question, it's because I don't know the answer, and I'm trying to get your opinion on
Yeah.
it. I'm trying to get your perspective on it, and you might not
don't-
like the tone I'm using. You may not like the questions I have asked, but these are
Wick.
not, and I take offense at this, sir. That I am not
Wick,
trying to
I
trap you,
don't give a
trick
shit.
you, manipulate you, or
I don't-
anything. This
okay.
isn't for you. This is for everyone watching because I take my reputation seriously, sir.
Damn right. Damn right. Grab your nuts. Damn right, Wick. Grab him. Grab him and tell him to suck your entire. That's right. Yes, Wick. Yes. He's starting to lose patience, people. He's starting to lose patience. Based, as the kids say. Based.
And please, I am not a white blood cell. I'm not an orbiter.
Well, then why
I'm
don't you
not
talk to them?
one
Stop
infant.
pretending. Don't stop pretending you're talking to me, and just address them directly then. And then I'll
Because
know it's
I'm
just-
trying to talk to
Oh
you
no!
both.
Wait a second. You know what? I don't really want to wait in the middle of my interview to watch you give a speech to the audience to try to repair
That
your
was-
reputation.
That was 10 seconds.
I don't even want to watch it for 10 seconds.
You just did. But anyway, I have more questions for you, if you don't mind.
Well, I have something I want to say. Early on in my streaming career, I had a bunch of conversations like this with a bunch of people who communicate like you. And I got a reputation for all these meta conversations. It was, I guess it still is, common practice for a streamer to say something like, I am not being slippery. I am not defending Destiny. To just, instead of engaging with the criticism being made of you, to just make a flat announcement of your supposed intention, not even your intention, of actually what you are doing in the conversation.
Okay, let me make my announcement. Mr. Girl, I think you're full of shit. I think you're a creep. I think you're abusive, especially to women. I think it's gross how every time you talk, you have to bring up analogies about rape and child abuse. I think you are a disturbed human being. Is that enough for you, Mr. Girl? Because those are all my opinions on you. Don't like my opinions? I don't care. Because those are my opinions of you. And you cannot change my opinions.
But as Shaylin so often likes to say, or as she said on that call with Stardust and Zonia, saying you're doing something is not the same as doing it. So when I criticize your questions, or if I criticize you for being defensive, possibly you may not even know you're doing it. It is not you can't address that criticism by looking at me and saying, I am not doing X. I am not manipulative.
I think
that
I
on
disagree.
its face, saying the sentence "I am not manipulative" literally makes no sense. It's actually meaningless.
I
And
disagree. I think it's important.
well, I
right,
don't
when
think you should.
talking and having a conversation to establish genuineness in any way.
Saying you are genuine does not establish
Not
genuineness.
in and of itself, but when someone
No,
is
it does not
misunderstanding
at all.
you, it can
I'm
help
not-
to repair
I'm-
the
I
bridge.
don't-
It has before, it will again. This is just not true. It's just factually
I don't,
incorrect.
Okay, if dear audience,
look.
if anybody ever tells you they're not manipulative and it makes you think that they're less manipulative just because they said that, you may still be getting manipulated.
You may. That's a key word. You may. It is not
Yeah, it's
indicated. It
meaningless.
is not binary as you're making it, out to be. It's a spectrum.
No, it's
I mean, you should know that, Mr. Girl. You should know that. You manipulated Anna, made her start to loop again for your little Destiny tirade manifesto. You manipulated Lab because she just straight up dumb and wants attention, so you gave her the attention that she wanted, hence the reason why she's calling you dad now. You're her content daddy now. Okay? You're very manipulative. That's why you get mad when you're talking to women. And you get mad when they push back on you because you want to manipulate them. You manipulated Stardust when you said, I feel like I'm raping you now, because you had no reason to say that. That's all you do. All you do is walk around trying to manipulate people. You're mad because you can't manipulate people the way you were because you got called out for your bullshit. That people finally started listening about how you are. Because for the longest time, everybody thought you were just a joke. For the longest time, everybody thought you were just a meme. I literally had people saying, oh, he's sarcastic. I think he's a comedian. Oh, I didn't know he was abusive to his girlfriend. This, that, and the other. For the longest time, no one listened about you, and now everybody is seeing for you for what the you are.
actually meaningless.
I disagree.
If the charge is that you're a liar, you can't say I'm not a liar. It doesn't mean anything.
I think asserting it is important.
I see that. that is what I'm disagreeing with.
Fair enough. We have a fundamental disagreement with this.
Okay.
If I may go back to the report, because I do
Yeah.
have a couple more questions that I want to get through, if you're okay with it.
Sure.
What do you think the strongest element of the report is? The one, if people were only to read one single story or one single portion of that, what would you direct them to read to say, this is what I mean when I say Destiny is abusive, etc.?
I don't think you should do that.
I understand, but you understand that, like, due to the length of the report, that's how many are going to be engaging with this, right?
Well, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think that's a good idea. It won't tell you much of anything.
Okay, wait, I gotta go
Well,
back.
I know
Hold
that-
on.
I understand, but you understand that abusive, etc. You direct them to one. If people were only to read one single story or one single portion of that, what would you direct them to read to say, this is what I mean when I say Destiny is abusive, etc.?
I don't think you should do that.
I understand, but you understand that, like, due to the length of the report, that's how many are going to be engaging with this.
Yeah, but here's the funny part, Mr. Girl, because you're an idiot and you don't know how to do drama and you tried your best, okay? But if you would have put clips in there and if you would have done screenshots instead of writing it all out, people would probably have looked at the whole entire thing. Because you would have had proof. Most people are going to look at this and go, why is this conversation typed out like this? How come we don't see the receipts? And think you're full of shit. Because it's a whole big ass, trust me, bro. And you know you are being disingenuous with almost every single fucking story in there. And Lav is being disingenuous too. Just saying. With her mid-ass.
That's right.
Well, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think that's a good idea. It won't tell you much of anything. The thing about I don't want to say subtle, because Destiny's abuse is not subtle. It's clear, but it's there's a lot of plausible deniability worked into all of his interactions with people. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And he also speaks and behaves.
Captain Poopers, you sure Mr. Girl isn't a good comedian because he's playing about is the funniest thing I've seen in a while? No, I don't think he's a comedian. I think he has questionable morals and values of a basic human being. I think he is an abusive piece of shit. He has shown time and time again how abusive he is towards people, and yet he thinks he has the nerve, he thinks he has the ground to stand on to call anyone else abusive, in my opinion. Thank you very much.
In a kind of coded way.
Thank you for the 5, though.
Which is part of
I
why it had to be
appreciate
so
it.
long. So each individual story, it can be bad, but can also be explained away or minimized. But the explanations will start to fall apart the more you read. And taken in total, once you get to know him, things that you thought were just negligent or accidental or mistakes come into focus as intentional.
I
And
will admit, if I may just interject real quick, I will admit I do not have the breadth of knowledge on Destiny that you do. I do not have the interaction or the experiences that you do.
Oh Jesus, Whick, just stop. There's no reason to interject. If this is actually an interview where you're trying to get my thoughts, you should just let me. No, you're not. You're just that's plausible deniability. This is what I'm talking about. You're giving yourself plausible deniability.
What I'm trying to do is direct it and so that people can digest what you're saying.
You're such a snaky snake. I swear to God, he is such a snaky snake. He's a snake.
You're not helping them digest what I'm saying.
I think
You're derailing it by being like, by the way, guys, I know I just got accused of running interference for like a mass abuser, but I just want you guys to know that I don't have the same amount of knowledge as what Max does. But anyway,
I'm prefacing it to say this.
I just don't.
To say that this is frustrating because I had a point, but you've derailed me, sir, and now I no longer have it in my head. Let me try to get back to it, if I might. The reason
Why don't
I
you
think
just let
that is
me answer
important
the fucking question
because I
without interrupting me?
right? I
Yeah.
wonder if
What do you wonder?
that you're hurt from this, that the betrayal.
He's obviously hurt. It's 100,000 words of hurt. That's all it is. It's 100,000 words of hurt. Hurt, pain, daddy issues, a bunch of shit.
betrayal that you feel from Destiny colors these previous experiences of you. Do you think that this bias,
Oh my God.
right? It's a fair question to ask. I'm giving you the chance to answer. Do you think that you may have bias that colors your experience that makes things sinister that otherwise would not be? If it's no, then just say no. It's easy.
Okay. So let me just, because I think you're maneuvering again. I just want to lay out what I think just happened, and then I'm going to decide how to proceed. But a lot of people warned me that I should be careful in this conversation with you, so I want to take their advice. The question is, the report's really long, so if there's one part of it that you think I think encapsulates, it's kind of what you were getting at,
Yes.
Destiny's abuse, what would that part be?
Yes.
And then my response was, I was starting to say that because of the coded way that Destiny operates, and the layers of subterfuge, you reading one part of it, it's a lot more than the sum of its parts. So reading one part of it won't give you, there's 15. I think there's 15 sections. Reading one section doesn't give you a 15th of the picture. It'll give you maybe 1% of the picture. As you speak the language of Destiny and get to know how he moves and operates, then it will come into focus exactly what you're dealing with. But you kind of interrupted me laying that out to ask me, well, first to announce that you don't know a lot about Destiny. You don't know as much about him as I do. And then that was a preface for you to say, do I think that
Your experiences.
Wait, I stop talking, please, for the love of God, please, because you're gonna do it again.
No, see, that's what I want to say to you. Stop talking for the love of God and just answer the fucking questions that are asked to you. Holy shit. He is so full of shit. He is so full of shit. Oh my God. Oh my God. He makes me want to punch my computer or something. Oh my God. This is crazy. This is crazy. What the he got mad hurt when someone who tried to help him to understand. Yes, now he's going to monologue for 20 minutes about how he got interrupted, even though he keeps interrupting Whick. Like, what?
And then I'm going to have to lay that out. Just please, I'm getting better at it, but I'm not that fast at it. Okay, then you interrupted me saying that to preface that you don't have the same knowledge, and then to ask me if I think that my sense of betrayal colored my perception.
Yes.
Okay, and my choices there are to say either I don't see how that's related to the question at all. First
It
of all,
absolutely goes to the
stop. Let me. I just want to lay out what I'm thinking before I decide how
I'm
to.
trying to let you, buddy.
Well, just be quiet. Will you just be quiet for a second? Okay.
This, oh my God, this would not have ended well if this was me. This is why I can't do debates. And this is why I would need a moderator, so the moderator can take care of the part of what he's doing and not me, okay? Because there is no damn way I would have been like Whick right now. There is no way. Could you imagine? Could you imagine me trying to sit there and stay? I wouldn't have lasted this long. I wouldn't have lasted this long. There's no damn way. Oh my God, Whick. We need. You know what? We need to make some kind of trophy for Whick. Whick deserves a trophy, cause God bless him.
So, I don't see. It isn't. And I will let you can respond and explain this in a minute. But I don't see how is it related to the question of what is either the topic of what is the most damning part of the report, or the question of kind of what does it mean that the report is a key to itself, that to understand any part of it you kind of have to read the whole thing and see that it's not just a report about Destiny being abusive. It's a report about the fact that the abuse is normalized and that everyone's kind of just accepted that he's going to be abusive, and they come up with excuses like, oh, other people are more abusive, or we already knew all that, or whatever. I don't see how the question of is my view of the other stories colored by my own story, I don't see how that's related. But
because
also,
it's not related to either of those things. What it is related to is you mentioned that in order to understand Destiny is being abusive, he speaks in coded language. He creates a lot of plausible deniability. So in response to that, I asked the question: do you think maybe that your hurt, your sense of betrayal, your past experiences,
I get it.
Does that make more sense?
Okay, I totally get it. It's another Max is a paranoid schizophrenic trap where. I get what you're saying now.
No, I don't think you do. I think that
No, he doesn't. He willfully doesn't. He's being willfully ignorant right now because he wants to be a martyr. Mr. Girl wants to be a martyr because he thinks that's his path of getting back what he lost.
You have
Wait, stop.
decided-
I want to
you've
say.
made your decision on what this article. You have made a decision on how this interview is going to go and who I am as a person, and you are coloring all of your responses are colored by that. You have made a decision, and you will be damned before anything changes your mind, and that is frustrating.
Okay. I'm sure it is. I want to lay out what I'm thinking now, just in real time. So now you're saying that your question about whether my personal experience colored or impeded, let's face it, my ability to accurately assess other people's stories or situations or Destiny's treatment of people in different situations. Yes. Your decision, please don't say anything. Just let me lay this out. Your question, one second. You decided to ask me that, not because it was related to the question you had just asked, and not because it was actually related to the point I was making, that you really need to read the whole thing to kind of like get it. It was you heard me say something, I said coded.
Dude, I read the whole thing and I don't get it. Well, no, I do get it, but what I get and what you're trying to say it is are two different things. It was a coat piece. It was trying to be a hit piece, but it literally was a coat piece. Literally.
And as sort of a side or just like a brick in the kind of the point I was making, and then that sounded paranoid to you, and so then you thought you would ask a question. Really, it's not really a question. Really, you're saying you think that I am unfairly or harshly judging Destiny because of my feelings of betrayal. And so you asked a question to set me up there. And here's the setup. Here are my two choices after you ask that question. I can either say, no, I was not I was not thrown off so much by my feelings of betrayal and my own abuse. It did not affect my ability to accurately and impartially judge other situations. In which case, it makes it sound like maybe my betrayal wasn't that bad or my abuse wasn't that bad, because we're all human. We all know what it's like if you feel deeply betrayed by somebody. Of course, it's going to change your view of them. That's just how like our minds work. So I would be denying kind of the obvious. And I've already included a lot of stuff in the report that sort of undermines my own voice as a impartial observer. I'm all over the fucking thing. I've already said I'm complicit. I'm an abuser in the report. The report is also about my own abuse of other people, in part. And actually, it's not just even other people there, because I knew of some of these stories, or I had heard about some of these.
See, look at this. He doesn't even know what his report's about. You see this? Yeah, it's word salad. Everything he's saying right now is word salad. He's just filling air. That's all he's doing. He's doing this so he doesn't have to answer any questions. That is a Mr. Girl interview. This is what he does. That's why when he went on Drunken Peasants, he didn't last very long. Because he got asked questions that he couldn't answer.
Stories, I didn't look into them, and still, even then, I'm retroactively complicit. So I'm all over the fucking thing. I was Destiny's #1 orbiter, not really his right-hand man, but his definitely his top orbiter, I would say, in terms of viewership and clout for a year. So for me to say no to that would be fucking insane. I would sound completely delusional insane if I said it didn't affect my perception of him or these other situations. And then if I say it did affect my perception of him in these other situations, then yeah. So again, it's like, do you think that
it can affect
do you think this?
But
you've said some negative things about this content creator who raped you. Do you think him raping you colored your ability to?
Again, you keep using this rape analogy.
Yeah, I just want to show.
But the context changes in that case. So yes,
okay.
How I treat the conversation is much different if
Here's
you were
what you
accusing
asked me
him of rape.
Before when we made this agreement to have this conversation. You said, anything you want me to focus on in particular, or are there any lines of questioning you'd like me to avoid? I said, I don't want to be challenged on whether or not I, or Lav, or Anna were abused. So basically, can we keep it... Stop. Basically, can we keep it to an interview format and not a debate at all? And your response was, yeah, I'm not here to put you on trial.
I'm not.
So you don't think that you have challenged me?
Do you not think that people ask critical questions in interviews? Do you think that doesn't happen?
It does happen. That's why I sent you this DM saying I don't want you to do that about certain topics.
What you asked me not to do was abuse, to say that you were not abused, or to debate
no,
you
I said
on
I
whether
don't
or not you were abused. And we're not here to do that. We're here to talk about your report.
I said I don't want to be challenged on whether I, or Lav, or Anna were abused.
And I have not done so.
I think being generally unwilling to let me, and I know some of my answers are long-winded, but still, I think I don't have the sense that I can speak freely, which I don't like. I think
You know what he wants? He wants a platform on YouTube. That's all he wants. He wants somebody to let him get up on their channel and talk his shit. Because he knows it's going to get watched more than sitting on his channel on Rumble. That's all he wants. That's all he wants. He wants to be able to get on somebody's platform and just speak the shit he wants to speak, because he knows it's going to get watched more, no matter, because of the manifesto. It doesn't matter what size the channel is. It's going to get a lot of views. That's all he wants. Because he knows even a channel size of, I think Whick has like 2K, maybe 3K. All right. He knows that is going to get more views than what his fucking channel over on Rumble's going to get. That's all he wants. That's all he wants. He just told on himself right there. He just told on himself. This man is so smart, he's dumb.
To do an interview on a topic like this, I really need a lot of latitude to pretty much say whatever I want unimpeded. And then second, I would characterize you asking me if my view of other stories were impeded by my own feelings of betrayal, which even referring to it as, you're not calling it abuse. You're calling it feelings of betrayal, which I, of course makes me sound like a jealous ex-girlfriend.
Because you're acting like a jealous ex-girlfriend. Oh God. You don't even see what you're doing, do you? You are literally acting like I expect you to go to where Destiny lives and key his car. Like, you are literally acting like a jealous ex-girlfriend. Literally. Exactly, Toots. If the shoe fits. Just saying. He's so unaware.
So I'm going to say that you did, while subtly, break our agreement. So I'm on the edge here, Whick. I don't think talking to you anymore is a good idea.
Out. Just kick him.
But
Kick him mid-sentence.
Kick
him
Oh, do you
mid-sentence.
want me to leave? You want me to leave? If you want me to leave, I'll leave.
I'm just saying you're not a prisoner here. You're free to go at any time.
Yeah.
You're under no
Okay.
contractual obligation to be here. Right?
I don't think anybody thought that I was.
I understand. Well, some people do. Like, when I deal with people, sometimes they make a show like, "Hey, man, I gave up, family time to be here," and I'm like, "Don't do that, please." Right? Like, if something comes up, just bow out, and that's fine. It's a point I make to all my guests, right? But I did not turn this into a debate. I was not the one.
Well, you
that
were
turned
not
this
the
into
one.
a
You didn't.
debate.
I didn't turn this into a debate.
Yes, you did.
Max.
Yes, you did.
Just
You
for are there people who watching?
What? You absolutely did. He was being so respectful to you, and he was being nice. He did not even raise his voice at you until you started splooging out word salad that meant nothing, because he was asking questions that you didn't want to answer. No, sir. You're the one that turned it into a debate. Whick has been very generous in the way he's even talking to you. And the way he has kept his calm this whole entire time. He has literally, at this point, he should be called Saint Whick because he has kept his cool. Like, oh my God. What the hell?
Who are actually so fucking dumb that you can just tell them what's happening and they'll believe you. Everybody already has their own opinion about what happened. Telling them that doesn't do anything.
I find it. I like to say things sometimes, whether it's useful or not, whether there's efficacy in doing it is not. But Max,
it just feels good.
Yes, sometimes I do shit because I like to. Okay, because I want to, because it feels good to do. I don't need a gain. I don't need to get anything out of it. I do it because I want to. Max, is there anything else you would like to say about your article? This went terrible. I am not happy right now. I think that you have treated me very unfairly. I think that you have been. I came in here.
Yes.
Good faith. I've been super charitable. I have been extremely good faith. I've been extremely polite.
What?
I was not manipulative. I did not set up a ton of traps. I was open to feedback. I let you answer my questions. I did everything right, and I just don't understand why you would be so rude to poor old me.
No, I think I do understand, unfortunately.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. No, he didn't. No. No, he didn't. Oh my God. Holy shit. You know what? That's probably the funniest shit Like, bro, what? Oh my god. What the hell? Oh shit.
Unfortunately, but
Well,
I don't know. I don't know for sure. So I'm
what
not
does
gonna
that
say it
mean?
out loud. What I think is that
Oh, I
like,
could think something. I have a thing I could say
Well,
about you, but
I
I'm not.
will-
But I'm
I
not
will
saying. But if you really want me to say it, then I will.
I will
But I
elucidate.
just have to.
I will
Yeah, go ahead.
elucidate my suspicions. Is that you have decided that the pushback I gave you, as small and little as it was evidence of my complicitness with Destiny, that I am somehow part of this grand scheme to take you down and to minimize
paranoid.
the things that happened to you. That's what I think is going on. And I didn't think that at the beginning of the conversation, right? I didn't think that at the beginning of the conversation. I thought, okay, we're going to have a productive discussion. I'm going to figure out like some of the questions I have. I thought that was going to happen. I thought we were going to at least come to maybe an understanding, and I could understand, okay, well, why did he choose to include this but didn't include this? Why did sometimes he put in the links to the VODs of things, and sometimes he didn't. And I was very like, I wanted to ask that, but we never got
I would stop.
there.
I would like to respond to the criticism you
Please.
just levied. Okay. I don't think that there is a grand scheme. I say this partly because as I said, I was complicit myself.
What
My
do you mean
decision
there was no
to not talk
what?
to Anna
What?
when she was.
He's saying there's no grand scheme, but yet his whole damn manifesto is about how there was a grand scheme to cover up what abuse Destiny has done. Are you kidding me? Now you're flipping it. Now you're being, dude. You are so f***ing I hate him. I hate this man. I cannot stand this man.
DMing me saying that Destiny was abusing her was not a calculated decision. I never asked Destiny if I should talk to her. He never told me not to. He never told me to discredit her. He never told me to mock or ridicule Erudite and Brittany Simon. I just kind of did it automatically. I was picking up on the cues from the people around me of how it would be good to act and what would be acceptable to act without even knowing I was picking up on those cues.
So basically what you're saying now is you're not a grown-ass man with your own way of thinking. Now you want to act like you have no thoughts of your own and you fell in line. Get the f*** out of here. Oh my God. Oh my God, he's so full of shit. And the only reason why he's talking about Brittany Simon like this now, because Destiny and Brittany Simon just fell out. They just fell out. If they hadn't have fallen out, he wouldn't be talking about Brittany Simon like this. Yes, Echo, he was looking for Daddy's approval.
To go against that takes a lot of, I don't know, bravery and strength that I didn't have. And I didn't go against it until it started happening to me. I didn't go against it until I did feel betrayed, and I did feel I didn't go.
Wait a minute, didn't he just get on him? Didn't he just get on Whick for insinuating that Mr. Girl was saying he was betrayed? But now Mr. Girl is saying he was betrayed? Am I crazy, or is that what just happened? Am I crazy, or is that what just happened? Like, what? You just got on him for insinuating you got betrayed, but now you're saying you got betrayed. Okay, so I'm not going crazy. He did f*** up.
Go against it until I couldn't stand being part of it anymore. And you're not in that position. You're not being dogpiled. You're not being humiliated. You're not. Other people are not directly accusing you of leading to their dogpiling and their humiliation. You don't have somebody, I guess, other than me. You have me now telling you that I've been abused, and you are not really listening to me. But I'm out of the system anyway, so it's probably an easy automatic choice for you to do that. And then there's immense pressure on you. Destiny is watching, or people who watch him are watching and reporting back to him. His eyes are on you, and if you...
Who cares? Okay, maybe Whick might care. I don't know. But for me personally, I don't care. I don't care. I'll still stand up and say I think Destiny was crazy for having you on as long as he did. And I'll still sit here and say that Destiny's audience caught up with you faster than he did. And I will still sit here and say Destiny's a hoe. I've been calling Destiny a hoe. What, do you think I won't tell Destiny that?
If you do or say the wrong thing, you just read 100,000 words about the things that might be done to you or might happen to you. I don't think it's a conspiracy. I'm not saying it's a calculated scheme. I'm saying that you, like me and everyone else who's complicit, you're probably just doing what comes naturally to you. And in an abusive system and a cult, what comes naturally to you is going to be something awful.
But yet you want to be a cult leader. Let's go back to that talk with your orbiters when they were coming at you about you even writing the report and lab. You want to literally, because we went over that, you want to literally run a cult. You want people licking your boots. And it is driving you crazy that less and less and less people are. And you want what Destiny has. And if you can't get it, then you want to go through any means necessary to take it away from Destiny. You're sick. You're sick and you're a snitch.
I've painted Erudite and Chud Logic and Stardust and Zonia and Irrelevant and a lot of the orbiters. I painted them in a really negative light in this document in a different situation. I really doubt that they have extensive histories of colluding in or being complicit in abuse. I really doubt it. I think
Do you think it's the space itself that does this, in your opinion? Do you think it's the incentive structures in this space, separate from Destiny, right?
No.
Or do you think it's Destiny specifically?
What I'm talking about is Destiny specifically.
Okay.
I don't think you could make a 100,000-page report or word report spanning 10 years about probably any of the orbiters and find them behaving consistently in doing the same things over and over and over and over again.
It was a big ass report basically saying Destiny's a hoe and I'm mad and I feel betrayed. That's pretty much the report right there. That's the report, people. That's what this big ass manifesto is about. Destiny is a hoe and I feel betrayed and I'm hurt. That's the report, people. You don't even have to read it.
So yeah, abusive systems normalize abusive behavior. So when I say you're complicit, I'm not saying that I think that you are intentionally being abusive or intentionally running cover for an abuser. That's not what complicity is. Complicity usually is just following social norms, and the norms around you have become so distorted and horrible. But they're to you they're norms, so you don't realize what you're doing.
Well, I think we've kind of run the gamut here. I disagree, but I can't think of any kind of a way I can tackle this that will result in a productive conversation. I think you've decided that I'm going to manipulate and that I'm going to dodge or maneuver, and so any kind of question I can think of simply will be called that, and that sucks because I really wanted to ask a lot of questions. It is what it is, gang. It is what it is.
Well, you shouldn't have.
I really like Whick. I'm going to subscribe to Whick. I really like him.
You shouldn't have talked to me in the first place, because the report clearly identifies bystanders as complicit, and you are not willing to tolerate that. You've decided you have to defend yourself, and so therefore you have turned it into.
You kept throwing accusations at him. You kept telling him he was being like disingenuous and shit. How the fuck is he supposed to sit there and take that? Who the fuck are you, mofo? What? You bleed just like he bleeds. You're not fucking special, dude. The only thing that makes you special, your special fucking needs for that goddamn 100,000 word fucking manifesto that you made. That's the only kind of special you are. He's not supposed to defend himself. Who the fuck are you? Oh hell no.
To a debate, because the debate is not about whether I was abused or not. I mean, and by association, it kind of has been that too. But the debate is about whether you, now that you've read it, whether you can keep taking the money.
What?
And if you're not willing to just keep your fucking mouth shut about that for the sake of the interview, which you clearly are not, then I don't think you should have done it in the first place, because now you've engaged, and now you have to take a stand. You have to take a public stance now about, are you taking blood money or not? And if you're not, then of course you have to disavow the report, which is...
Wait a minute. Homeboy has 2.61K subscribers. Please explain to me what money are you talking about, sir? I can tell you now, at 5K, you're not making much. You certainly aren't making much at 2.6. Unless you got a sugar daddy in there or something, or a sugar mama in there.
That's basically what you're doing. In your
I have
in your
not
soft
taken a stand on whether
yeah
the
in your
report is accurate or not. And
you
nowhere in
clearly
this have I
you are clearly signaling.
I know that's
what,
what you
what are you talking
believe.
about? That's what anybody is going to believe who watches this. Nobody was going to believe this thinking that you think that this is a bombshell expose of
not.
mass abuse.
There's
It wasn't a bombshell expose. It was a trust me, bro. You showed no proof of anything. All you did was type it all out. No, it's not a bombshell. Bombshells aren't trust me bros. Bombshells actually show proof, not these links to these Reddit posts of people saying something. That's the only links you provided. You provided no evidence of this shit. None. And I have a funny feeling the reason why you didn't do that, because then that would add context to it, and it would show you're making something out of nothing because you're a psycho.
obviously a wide spectrum between it's a nothing burger and it's a
Yes,
bombshell.
and
of
yes,
wide
no, I understand that you're going to try to, at any given moment, keep your position on the report blurry so that you can adjust it to whatever is expedient in the immediate moment. But generally, I think your position is a critical one.
I'm a critical person, both
But you
of you and Destiny. I think that you have
Yeah.
outlined behaviors that I did not know about. Like I said, there are things in the report that, as someone who is not up with the lore, I didn't know about the Mia situation. I didn't know
already
about the
said
gun
that.
and stuff. I didn't
Yeah.
know about any of this, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It-
What do you think?
It's concerning. There are some concerning things said in there, right? I want but the problem with the report, and
No.
this is my
What do you
criticism
think
of
is
the report.
concerning? No.
Sure.
What's your criticism
the fact
after reading the
that
report?
He
What is your
a
criticism?
streamer on his stream. He groped someone
Yeah.
in 2012 on his stream. That's shitty behavior. Okay, I didn't know about that. That sucks.
Okay.
Is that
Anything else?
good? Right?
I don't know. I'm asking you what are your criticisms? You said you're critical of me and critical of Destiny. What are your criticisms of Destiny?
I
after
think
reading the
Destiny's an
report?
asshole in a lot of cases. To be clear, I think that the way he engages with people when it comes to spitefulness, I think that is a big problem that he has. He's very spiteful in a lot of ways. Yes, so that's bad. That's a criticism I have of Destiny.
Okay, so he groped a woman in 2011, 2012, who said that it wasn't a huge deal
Yeah, but
afterward.
it's still bad. It doesn't matter what she said. Like if you do this behavior, it's still not good. Right?
Yeah, sure. So he was drunk and 23, and he groped a woman who he had a sexual relationship with, and then she said it wasn't that big of a deal publicly afterward. That's one criticism. And then two is that he's an asshole. Anything else?
You know what? Probably, but we don't have the time to go over it right now.
We don't?
We don't, because again, I want to be accurate with my words, and I have read the report,
Oh.
but I do not know, after this conversation, I do not know the accuracy of this report because you've so misconstrued our conversation
Yes.
right
Yes.
now.
If I have
Yes.
this,
because
if I
it's
have
possible
yes.
to believe you.
So if I view you as
No, it's when someone actively lies, then I can
it's a lie.
understand
I'm
that they
calling you
can
s- you know, I'm calling
probably
you-
have
I'm
lied
calling you-
before.
Okay, so me calling you spineless is a lie?
Me saying that I've been maneuvering, yes, that is a lie.
Is that you don't
is
think
a
that's
lie.
just an interpretation? That's a lie? Do you think I think that you're maneuvering?
Yes.
Okay, so how is it? Wouldn't I just
But
be
it's not
wrong? How is
true.
it? Well, even if it's not true, wouldn't I just be wrong? You think I'm lying? You think I
Are we going to debate
internally
about
think?
what lying is and what's not?
Well, you
We
just
can
called me a
if you
liar,
want.
so yeah.
Well, you are a liar. You are 100% a liar because you got caught in a lie in this interview. You are 100% a liar. Yes, sir. You got caught in this interview. You just don't even know it yet. Well, you might know it by now, maybe, but you didn't know it at the time. Yeah, you're a liar. You're 100% a liar. And you make mountains out of molehills. 100%.
Yeah, I think if you
I
call
think
me a
that
liar,
you've lied
we're
about
gonna...
Mike. You've misrepresented. Is that better? You've misrepresented what I've said in
No,
this conversation.
no,
I think you have.
misrepresentation is clearly just means
I
lie.
think you have
That mean-
misrepresented what the
no,
intent of
no.
this conversation. I think you've misrepresented how I thought
Knowingly?
about this conversation. I think you misrepresented the intent of my questions.
So this is
And
a really
because
simple question. You can
misrepresented
answer. You can answer
and
this question
also
with
due
one.
to the fact that other people who were involved in the report have said you've
Are you
misrepresented
gish-galloping me,
that.
interviewer?
I'm
This is
absolutely
not- this is not an interview
because the
anymore.
interview's over, and now we're just
Oh.
addressing some of these situations
Okay.
that we're talking about, right?
Do
The
you
fact
think
that Whitener votes
here's-
in
I just have one.
I just have-
misrepresented
Yes.
I just have
them,
one question.
Then
I
I
just
think
have
that
one
yes,
question.
it's likely that you've misrepresented the others, maybe
Whick,
perhaps.
Whick.
Yes, Wick. Yes, Wick is cooking. Wick is cooking. He got that pan out. He cooking.
Please. Do you think A, I think you're being manipulative because you are spinelessly going along with whatever the system is pressuring you to do. Or B, I don't think that, but I'm just saying that.
What? 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 Wait, what? No. Hold on. Wait.
Do you think, A, I think you're being manipulative because you are spinelessly going along with whatever the system is pressuring you to do? Or B, I don't think that, but I'm just saying that.
Wait, I have a question. Is Mr. Girl going to be another Andrew Tate, and instead of calling it the Matrix, it's now the system? Is he turning into another Andrew Tate? I need to know these things. I don't know, Midna. Is the system in the room with us right now? That's a good question, is it? Are we in the system? Are we part of the system? Is this like another version of Red Pill? But just with a dude who wants to say he's a feminist, but he really hates women, which is absolutely fucking phenomenal to me.
I think that you believe this because you've decided this. It's
Yep.
very kind of a,
Okay,
you made the
but-
decision that I'm manipulative, and so everything I do becomes manipulative.
Okay,
Which is a
but
lie.
have-
It's not
okay,
true.
let's-
It's misrepresentation. Whatever word you want to use. You can pick the word, right?
Well,
but it's factually
I'm-
inaccurate.
Wait
okay?
a second. The point of this question is to differentiate between two words. One is lie.
No, that is
I'm sorry,
not the point of this conversation. The point of
Yes!
this
No, no,
conversation
the question-
right now
I'm asking-
is to
sorry,
say,
I'm asking you-
am I being manipulative?
Yes.
And so
no,
it's
no,
a very...
that's not what I'm asking. Oh,
I
sorry.
don't care what you're
understand.
asking.
Oh, if you don't
this
care
is
what
the
I'm
point of
asking,
the
then why?
conversation.
Then why are you? Okay, so I can't ask you this question because
You can absolutely ask, but I'm going to correct you if you misrepresent me.
Great.
I'm going to do it in real
Okay.
time.
Great, that's fine. That's totally acceptable. So here's the question: do you think that I genuinely believe, for whatever reason, even if it's based on a paranoid delusion, I genuinely believe that you are a spineless, manipulative person who is going along with whatever the system is pressuring you to do?
That's the way you're talking to him. You're talking to him like he is. Indigo. I think Wick's softer voice made Mr. Girl think he's an easy target and was a fail for Mr. Girl. I agree.
That's A. That means I'm genuine. Maybe I'm wrong from your perspective, but I genuinely believe what I'm saying. Or B, I don't think you're spineless, but I'm just saying it anyway.
What I think, right? Is it,
Are you willing to answer this
yes,
question?
it's
Okay.
A, but it doesn't matter. Your intent does not matter. What you are doing is still misrepresenting me, whether it's
Yeah, but-
purposely or not. Intent
Okay.
does not matter in this instance.
So instead of using the agnostic misrepresent, I would like us to use something like I'm lying, which requires intent, I think, or I'm mistaken, I'm wrong, I'm delusional. You could call me stupid.
Whatever
but
what you want to use.
no, I want you to pick a word that falls
Misrepresent.
into.
That's what I'm using.
No, misrepresent is agnostic because it doesn't state whether I'm intentionally misrepresenting.
Excuse me, he's a grown-ass man. He can use whatever the word he wants to use. What?
Because the intent isn't, it's purposely agnostic because the intent doesn't matter to what you're doing here.
I'm
right?
sorry. Let me back up. This question is about my intent. So the only question I'm asking you is, do you think the things I'm saying about you that you view to not be true are intentionally not true or unintentionally?
They're probably unintentionally not true. Let's say that. I'll give you that grace.
Okay. Wait, when you say I'm going to give you that grace,
Because
is
I don't
that double-
know. Because I don't know. I can't read your
hold on,
fucking mind.
No, stop. Let me. I have a new question. When you say I'm going to give you that grace after your answer, that comes across to me like doublespeak. Like you're saying, when you say you're giving me grace, doesn't
I disagree. I think it's intentional. I think it's 100% intentional. I disagree. I disagree with Wick there. I think it's completely intentional the way Mr. Girl was acting. 100% intentional. And the reason why I say it's intentional, go watch other interviews he's had with people who push back on him. He does the exact same thing. So it is 100% intentional. I believe, personally, my own personal belief, I think it's intentional.
doesn't that imply that you actually do think it's intentional, but you're saying it's not because you're being polite? Why would
No.
you add that otherwise?
Because I don't know, but it feels like it is. It feels
Wait,
like it's
so-
intentional, but I don't know. And so because I don't know, because I
Wait,
don't
so-
know whether or not it is or is not, I said, you know what? Intent doesn't matter. So whether it is or is not is
No,
beside
sorry.
the point. And
I'm
whether
sorry.
it's
I'm
falling
sorry.
into
I'm so
this
sorry.
rabbit
Wait, I'm so
hole
sorry.
of
I'm so
intent.
sorry. Wait, I'm so sorry. The question is about my intent, so it does matter. Unless you don't want to answer the question. 'cause
It
you think the
doesn't
question
matter
doesn't
to me. Let's say that.
Oh, it doesn't matter to you whether I'm maliciously saying you're
Nope.
manipulative?
Why someone beats the shit out of me or rapes me doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Oh, so it does. So if somebody beat the shit out of you because they were blind and
Versus
hit you in the
whether
wait,
whether
no,
they
sorry,
had
no,
ill
no,
intent,
just
whether
let
they
me,
thought I was
sorry.
someone else,
Wick,
whether they were
I'm so,
blind, whether it
Wick.
was an accident, I'm
Yes,
still
Wick,
beat
Wick,
up.
Wick,
So it
Wick,
doesn't matter.
Well, I agree that you're beat up, but Wick, let me just ask you this: if a blind person trips and flails their cane, a really old blind person flails their cane and breaks your nose with it, that has the same effect on you as if a perfectly healthy 25-year-old says, hey, it's Whick, I'm going to hit him with my cane, and then hits you in the face with the same cane, same injury.
Yep.
You still end up with a broken you still end up with a broken nose. You still end up with medical bills. No, the intent doesn't matter. You still end up with a broken fucking nose. What, is he dumb?
It doesn't matter to you either way?
The hospital bill don't change, brother.
There
Like,
you
the
go.
hospital
True.
bill don't change. Now,
True.
if I was going to
Wait,
enact some
I'm sorry.
kind of
Wait,
justice,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Wait,
not
I'm so
done with
sorry.
the answer.
I'm so sorry.
If
In
I
my
was going
question,
to-
in my
if I was
question,
going
did you
to
think I was
enact-
asking about the
if
price
I
of the
was going
hospital
to
bill?
enact- If I was going to enact
Matt,
any kind
stop.
of retribution, right? If I wanted justice done, then intent would matter. But I'm not
Okay.
here to hold you accountable. I'm not here to give.
Wait, I'm
justice
sorry.
to
Wait,
whether
I'm
or
so
not you're
sorry. I'm not asking about what
misrepresenting
you're here. I'm not. I'm so
right?
sorry. I'm not asking about what you're here
I understand
for.
you're
I'm
not
still,
asking, but you should
No,
be.
I'm so sorry, Wick. I'm so sorry. I thought we were. I thought you said that you doubt. Here, let me backtrack. You said I have a ton of criticisms of Destiny, and then I asked you what they were, and then you immediately were. You made one criticism of him groping a woman on stream, which he himself agreed was a sexual assault over a decade ago, in which the woman said was not too serious. And then you said he was an asshole, which to me seems like a party line accepted thing to say about Destiny. I asked you for more specifics or to elaborate more. You refused to. One of the reasons you said you refused to elaborate is because I'm a liar. So even if you
Because
read, you
whatever
say,
I do,
wait,
whether or not you were purposely or not
no,
doing
please,
this,
wait,
you
Wick, you're gonna
misrepresent
give me
my
so
point
much,
is what I
you're gonna give me
said.
so much more work to do. Please stop. I don't want to do it. Okay, so I'm just explaining.
Then fucking leave. Because obviously, you're not going to turn him. He's not going to turn to your side. Why? Because he is intelligent. Only dumb people take your side. I'm sorry. If I have any Mr. Girl followers or people who like Mr. Girl, I am sorry. There is something wrong with you. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. Something wrong with you. Because if you actually believe the bullshit he spews out of his mouth, there is something wrong with you. Because he is abusive the way he talks to people. He is manipulative. He talks word salad. He talks in circles. He answers questions with questions. He cannot have a straight up one-on-one conversation with people because he feels in his mind he always has to be in control.
Where my head's at right now. So you gave a kind of triple. What was your reason for not? You said I've read the whole thing, but I don't really remember it. But also,
Yo, it's 100,000 words. I read it and yeah.
Wick, please,
The fact that I can't remember every single
Wick,
sentence,
please,
yeah.
please. I can't. Okay, so you said I've read it, but I don't remember the whole thing. So that was one reason why you can't criticize Destiny. And then reason two why you can't criticize Destiny is that you doubt the veracity of the report because I'm a liar.
You've misrepresented me. So whether
No,
you
stop.
intentionally
Wick,
or
Wick,
unintentionally,
stop.
you keep you're bouncing
We're
around.
gonna get there.
You're
No, we're
bouncing
gonna get
around.
there. Oh no, this is linear. We're gonna get there. Yeah, don't worry. I know you're excited to get to the next part, but we're gonna get there. You said I lied. You used the word lie. So then I was like, well, dude, I was like, bro, what do you mean by lie? Like, are you implying that I'm like just making stuff up in the report? Like that I'm intentionally and maliciously saying things that are not true in the report? Like
You were disingenuous in that manifesto, yes. And you dropped Chud Logic's DMs after you said that you wouldn't do so. Yeah. And Lab went to you with the Anna DMs after she told her that she wouldn't do that. So yeah.
I'm like a liar? Like that's what the word liar means to me. Or are you doubting my ability to interpret situations? And if it's the second one, I would really like you to clarify that. You're saying because that seems like I thought that was the
Sure,
tack you
I'll
were taking
clarify,
from.
if I
Oh,
may.
no. I'm sorry. I'm not asking a question right now. I'm explaining the questions I had in my head 5 minutes ago. Let me I just want to walk you through this.
He
So,
is triggered.
I was like, is he
very
saying I'm crazy?
triggered.
Because that seems to be the tack that he's taking for most of the conversation, like paranoid or overly emotional or vengeful or just or stupid. Like I'm bad at interpreting situations. And it was like a stubbornness thing. You said you've decided this. Deciding to be wrong about something is awfully close to lying, but
I don't think you do this
whatever. I'll still give you the chance to decide whether it's intentional or unintentional, or if you just don't want to answer the question. So I put the question to you a few different ways, and you got so far. You went so far into the weeds that you were saying things like, I don't care if a blind person breaks my nose with a cane or if someone...
No. No, sir. You do not get to sit there and say he went so far in the weeds. You went so far in the weeds bringing up a child abuse and a rape victim and stuff that had nothing to do with the conversation and would not make any sense and in the context of what y'all are talking about. No, sir. You do not get to sit there and say that Whick went into the weeds. You have been going into the weeds this entire time that y'all have been talking. Are you kidding me? Just so you can escape the questions that you had no comment about. Get the out of here.
Intentionally comes up to me, breaks my nose with a cane. Those are both the same to me because the
you're
hospital bill is the
obfuscating
same.
your main criticism in order to sound like again, whether you do this intentionally or not does not matter. Whether you misrepresented things intentionally or not in your report or in this conversation does not matter. The only thing I care about
Wait.
the only thing I care about
So,
is,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Wait.
accurate?
I'm so sorry. Wait. If you call someone a liar, and then they say, "Well, what do you mean by liar?" and then you say, "I don't care what liar means."
I'm calling
That-
you
that's not a real-
misrepresenting. I'm saying you misrepresent me. I'm pointing to
Yes.
an action you are doing. Misrepresenting is an action. It's not a state of being. You're not a misrepresenter. You have misrepresented me, and
yes,
you
I
are
get what you're saying.
misrepresenting
Okay.
and other
Do you
people
just-
and
do you-
have
I get-
told
yeah,
that they have
I hear you.
you have misrepresented them as
stop.
well.
Wick, stop. I hear you. I get what you're saying. The problem is you called me a liar. Then when I asked if it was intentional, you said you said I'll give you the grace of not thinking it's intentional, but it feels intentional. Which again, so you're still signaling that you kind of do think I'm just a malicious liar, which
No.
also implies that you do in fact care about it, because obviously you care about it. You wouldn't call me a liar. And of course I care about it. Like you can't like it would be like if I said that you raped a dog, and then you said, well, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, I don't care if you raped a dog. Like you can't I'm the one, you're the one calling me a liar.
But
so
again,
I'm just
Because you
the structure
are.
of this conversation is confusing. You call me a liar. I say, what does that mean? And you say, I don't care.
it may be confusing, but I think that you are in
So
refusing.
just-
In
so are
refusing
you-
to let me respond to you, you have increased rather than decreased the confusion. Whenever I try to clarify things, whenever
I don't want you to clarify
elucidate-
things. I just
I
want you to
understand you
answer.
don't want that.
Oh my god. This is so frustrating.
I just want you to answer.
because
I just
you
want you to answer one.
you are thriving in the confusion, right? If
I
you
just want
can
you to
throw up
answer-
this
I just want
cloud
you to
in this
answer this one
conversation
question.
of
I really
talking,
don't
then
think-
you don't
okay.
have to actually deal with what I'm actually accusing you of, which is
Wick.
misrepresenting me. You have misrepresented my intent,
Wick.
the style of my questions. You have misrepresented the reason I brought you on here for. You have misrepresented me and my place in this sphere. And because you have done that, and not only that, but because others have accused you as well of misrepresenting their words in the report, much like White Nervosa says that you misrepresented her in order to get Anna's to come forward, right? Then yes, I think, wow, look,
Wick.
maybe there's a pattern behavior here that we should probably explore. Now, before we come into this,
Wick.
you hadn't misrepresented me. So
Wick.
I was
Wick.
willing to
Wick.
I was like, okay, well, let's see
Wick.
what the guy has to say.
Wick, please. I just have one question. Do you think I'm intentionally misrepresenting you?
I
do you
don't
think?
know and I don't care at this point.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And you're misrepresenting what that manifesto was about. And you're misrepresenting all your feelings. Just say you got hurt by daddy. You could have wrote this manifesto and I got hurt by daddy by 5 words. It could have just been 5 words. Or no, 3 words. Daddy hurt me. That's all you had to do. Your whole article could have just been daddy hurt me. That's all it could have been.
Whether you're intentionally doing it or not, I'm still getting hurt and it still
If you
needs to
don't-
stop.
okay. So would you agree that I did not actually lie about you?
Yes,
You know what?
did.
Fair. We'll say you misrepresented me. Whether you
You're
lied
too
or not,
nice, Wick. Nope.
I'll leave that to God. I can't judge that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I will take that back.
You're too
Is that
nice,
fair?
Wick.
I don't know.
Okay.
My next question is.
There's the next one.
If
Okay.
if I did misrepresent you, is it possible that we just have different interpretations?
Okay, do you notice how Max is talking in a softer tone now? Now, this is what Max likes to do. He likes to do push-pull, all right? He'll go hard and then he goes soft. Then he goes hard and goes soft. You know who else does that? People who like to psychologically and emotionally abuse people. That's exactly who does that.
Of what's happening, whether you think I'm wrong, whether you think my interpretation is because I'm delusional, because I'm wrong, because I'm crazy, whatever.
Sure.
do
It's
you think- do you think-
possible
do you
that
think-
you
do you
thought
think-
that like I get it. It's
Yeah, that
possible
I just-
that you
I just
think
actually think
differently
you're- I
and
genuinely
understand
think-
things differently, but the
Yeah,
harm to
I
me is still the same. Whether you
Yes.
think you harmed me or you think you didn't at all, the harm is still the same, which is what
I
I
agree.
care about.
I think it is. Yes, I think it's totally possible that this conversation will harm your reputation. I think that's really, really possible. Okay, so, but that's not my question. My question is, do you accept my position that we are merely interpreting your behavior in this conversation differently?
I think you're interpreting
And you
it
think it's
unfairly
wrong?
for a variety of reasons. And I can
But-
elucidate those reasons if you'd like, but I don't think it's
No.
helpful at this point. And
I
I'm
don't-
going
I
to
don't
be
think
honest
so.
with you. I'm looking for an exit because I'm done.
I know that.
I've stopped.
You've been looking for an exit for quite a while now.
Yes, because I think that this
I know.
conversation isn't productive, and nor do I think that.
I know, but you can't really just call me a liar on your way out.
Yes,
so.
I'm gonna be honest. I would have exited a long time ago, and then I would just sat there talking to the audience and telling them how much of a piece of shit he is. Shit.
can.
I
I
mean,
can do whatever
well,
the
you
fuck
can.
I want. You know what else I can
Okay.
do? I can send you to the fucking void. Gone. Bye. Done. awesome, excellent. I can do whatever the f I want on my own f***ing show. That's
Damn
what I can
right.
do, okay? That's what I can do.